Hi, I'm Laurel. I know I could have just sent you guys a YouTube video, but ow, just got a paper cut. Today we're gonna be going through what it means to celebrate the Passover, a Jewish Passover. Now, all around the world, people do it differently, but for today, we're gonna just do it by this Haggadah, which is like a guide to go through the Exodus. It involves a lot of storytelling. So I'll just read the introduction. This Haggadah Passover guide is designed to be a simple and easy to print reference for non-Hebrew speakers. It contains the basic information needed to conduct a Passover Seder or Seder. It is not intended to be a full Haggadah, which can contain complete text of the traditional Seder and would usually have interesting artwork, commentaries, and additional information and history. They come in a wide variety of styles representing many different traditions. So, preparing for the Seder. The table should be set with the following special items. The Seder plate, which is this. In clockwise order, it should be the shank bone, the charset or harset, the bitter herbs, the vegetable. Sorry, I gotta switch this around. Egg, and then you can do like a bowl of salt water. A wine glass for each person. I think it's actually this way. Yes. Okay. A wine glass for each person, which I have 4 here. And then we need an extra wine glass for Elijah the prophet, because they believe that he'll return during the Passover. Just put that there. So with the Seder, you can't conduct it with bread or leavened food such as cake. So we have our little matzah. That's not what it actually looks like, but this is all I could find without going to the grocery store. So before the start of every Sabbath or Jewish holiday, it is traditional for the woman of the household or any individual to light 2 candles in honor of the holiest day. So this one's a little high, but lighting this one, then light this one. Cool. And then we recite this. Blessed you are, Lord our God, King of universe, who has sanctified us with his commandments and commanded us that we kindle the Yom Tov holiday lights. Or Yom Tov is like holiday lights, and then you can say it in Hebrew, but I'm going to butcher it real quick. Barak atah Adonai Elohim melech Elohim asher kidshanu v'matzovat tav visnu kalakid nir shel Yom Tov. Holding the wine cup, then we move on, sanctifying the day, we're doing Kadesh, it's called. Holding the cup of wine, one's right hand, this is my right hand, recite, Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who creates the fruit of wine, Baruch atah Adonai Elohim melech Elohim Borem pri Hagafen. We thank you, God, for giving us the gifts of the festivals for joy and holidays for happiness, among them this day of Passover, the festival of our liberation, a day sacred assembly recalling the exodus from Egypt. Blessings of the Shenu is recited at this point. Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who has kept us in life, sustained us, enabled us to reach the season. The first cup of wine is drunk, and the cup is refilled. I'm not going to drink this because I'm underage. Alright, let's see. Pour water from a cup. So this is the first ritual we have to do. Pour water from a cup once on each hand over a sink or basin without reciting a sing in preparation to eat parsley dipped in salt water. So I have my basin here. I don't have a cup. I'll be right back. Ooh. Alright, now we dip the parsley into salt water. Parsley or any other vegetable is dipped in salt water and then eaten. The parsley symbolizes both the humble origins of the Jewish people as well as the rebirth of spring, which is starting now. So this usually happens in like March, April. In Eastern Europe, where green vegetables were not common, a potato was used instead. So it's not super specific as like what do you have to use. And then the salt water symbolizes the tears shed during their slavery, Jewish slavery. Blessed are you, Lord, our God, King of the universe, who creates the fruit of the earth. And then you eat it. That's my dog. Alright. And then the middle matzah on the plate is broken in half. One half is put back on the stack, and the other half is placed in a napkin designed that afikomen, the desert, and put aside. The desert, and put aside. So, and then some kids, or families will hide this somewhere in the house, and then after the dinner's over, kids have to go find it. It is traditional in some homes to hide the afikomen now, exactly as I said, and hold it ransom. The children hold it ransom. The telling of the story of Passover. So I have a video that you can watch, and I'll put that here. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep on going with reading it. There arose in Egypt a Pharaoh who knew not of the good deeds that Joseph had done for that country. Thus he enslaved the Jews and made their lives harsh through servitude and humiliation. This is the basis for the Passover holiday, which we commemorate with these different rituals tonight. And then the youngest child or any individual asks or sings these 4 questions, which is, why is this night different from all other nights? On all other nights we eat either bread or matzah. On this night, why only matzah? On all the other nights we eat herbs or vegetables of any kind. On this night, why bitter herbs? On all other nights we do not dip even once. On this night, why do we dip twice? On all other nights we eat our meals in any manner. On this night, why do we sit around the table together in a reclining position? And then the rest of the participants at the center answer, we were slaves to Pharaoh in Egypt, and God brought us out of a strong hand and outstretched arm. If God had not brought our ancestors out of Egypt, we and our children's children would be subjugated to Pharaoh in Egypt. Even if we were all old and wise and learned in Torah, we would still be commanded to tell the story of Exodus from Egypt. And the more we talk about Exodus from Egypt, the more praiseworthy we are. The Torah describes 4 children who ask questions about the Exodus. Tradition teaches that these verses refer to our 4 different types of children. The wise child asks, what are the laws that God has commanded us? The parent should answer by instructing the child in the laws of the Passover, starting from the beginning and ending with the laws of afikomen. The wicked child asks, what does this Passover service mean to you? The parent should answer, it is because of what God did for me when I came out of Egypt, specifically me and not you. If you had been there with your attitude, you wouldn't have been redeemed. The simple child asked, "What is the setter's service?" The parent should answer, "With a mighty hand God brought us out of Egypt. Therefore we commemorate that event tonight through the setter." Then there is child who does not know how to ask. The parent should begin a discussion with that child based on the verse, "And you shall tell your children on that day, we commemorate Passover tonight because of what God did for us when we went out of Egypt." And then the telling of Passover continues. While the Jews endured harsh slavery in Egypt, God chose Moses to lead them out of freedom. Moses encountered God at the burning bush and then returned to Egypt to lead the people out of Egypt. He demanded that Pharaoh let the Jewish people go. The part of our Passover story is best described in the familiar song, "Go Down, Moses." When Israel was in Egypt's land, "Let my people go. Oppressed so hard they could not stand, let my people go. Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt's land, tell Pharaoh to let my people go. Thus saith the Lord," bold Moses said, "let my people go. If I'll smite your firstborn dead, let my people go." Chorus, which is, "Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt's land, tell Pharaoh to let my people go. No more shall they bondage toil, let my people go. Come out of Egypt's soil, let my people go. Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt's land, tell Pharaoh to let my people go." But Pharaoh hardened his heart and refused to let Jewish people go. That is why God sent the 10 plagues. This is tradition to remove 10 drops of wine from our cups as we recite the 10 plagues in remembrance that while the Jews were redeemed through these plagues, people did suffer. Remove a drop of wine for each plague as you recite the name. Blood, frogs, vermin, beasts, cattle disease, boils, hail, locusts, darkness, slaying of the firstborn. Following the slaying of the firstborn, Pharaoh allowed the Jewish people to leave. The Jews left Egypt in such haste that their dough did not rise, so they ate matzah. When Pharaoh changed his mind and chased after the Israelites, God miraculously caused the Red Sea to split, allowing the Israelites to cross safely. When the Egyptians entered the sea, it returned to its natural state, and the mighty Egyptian army drowned. As we conclude telling the story of Passover, we sing a song listing all the wonderful acts God performed for the Israelites when they left Egypt. If God would have taken us out of Egypt and not executed judgment upon them, it would have been enough for us. If he would have executed judgment upon them and not upon their idols, it would have been enough for us. If he would have judged their idols and not killed their firstborn, it would have been enough for us. If he would have killed their firstborn and not given us their wealth, it would have been enough for us. If he wouldn't have given us their wealth and not split the sea for us, it would have been enough for us. If he would have split the sea for us and not led us through in dry land, it would have been enough for us. If it would have led us through in dry land and not drowned our enemies in it, it would have been enough for us. If he would have drowned our enemies in it, not provided for our needs in the desert for 40 years, it would have been enough for us. Alright, so this is an explanation of Passover symbols. Alright, so the Pesach, the Passover sacrifice, which is this lamb bone, represented by the shank bone, or roasted beet. The Pesach sacrifice reminds us that God passed over the Israelite houses when the 10th plague was visited upon the Egypts after the Israelites offered the Passover sacrifice. Matzah is the unleavened bread. Matzah represents the hurried exodus from Egypt, wherein the Israelites left so quickly that the dough did not have time to rise. Marrow is the bitter herbs. The marrow reminds us of the bitter pain and suffering the Israelites went through as slaves to the Egyptians. We now conclude that the Magid section of the Seder. Tradition teaches us that in every generation we ought to look upon ourselves as if we personally had gone out of Egypt. Therefore is it our duty to thank the one who performed all the miracles for generations past and present. We start saying psalms praising God for taking us out of Egypt. We will continue after we eat the meal. Psalm 114. When Israel came forth out of Egypt, the house of Jacob, from a people of strange language, Judah became his sanctuary, Israel his dominion. The sea saw it and fled. Jordan River turned backward. The mountains skipped like rams, the hills like young sheep. What ails you, O sea, that you flee, the Jordan River that you turn backward? You mountains that you skipped like rams, you hills like young sheep, tremble, earth, at the presence of the Lord, at the presence of the God of Jacob, who turned the rock into a pool of water, the flint into a fountain of waters. A blessing is then said over the second cup of wine. Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who creates the fruit of wine. We drink a second cup of wine. And then the second ritual, hand washing. Pour water from a cup once on each hand over sink or basin hands, this time with a blessing, to prepare for eating of the matzah. Recite this blessing after washing hands. So, you wash your hands. Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who has sanctified us with his laws and commanded us to wash our hands. Blessing before the Seder meal, Motzai. The Motzai blessing is recited at the beginning of the Seder meal, and usually the Seder meal is accompanied with a matzah ball soup, and then maybe some sort of like braised pork or, beef. Yes, anyway, so here we go. Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who brings bread from the earth. And this is in reference to God giving them manna bread. Sky. Sorry, my dog. And then you specifically bless the matzah. Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who has sanctified us with his laws and commanded us to eat matzah. And then you can say in Hebrew as well. The matzah is passed among the Seder participants and eaten. So, pass it. And then you bless the bitter herbs, which happen to be this lettuce. Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who has sanctified us with his laws, commanded us to eat bitter herbs. So then, you take the matzah, and you make matzah and korochet sandwich, or korech. Each person makes a sandwich using 2 pieces of matzah with maror and korech. So this is a mixture of nuts, fruit, wine, and spices that symbolizes the mortar used by Jewish people to make bricks while enslaved in Egypt. Alright. This is done in commemoration of an enactment made by the great sage Hillel, who lived in the time of the Second Temple, to eat Passover sacrifice together with matzah and maror in a sandwich. Alright. And then Passover dinner is served. I don't have a dinner, but that's typically what's done. And then the piece of matzah put aside earlier as the fikamen is eaten as a dessert. It is traditional in some homes to hide the fikamen for children to find before eating it, or for children to steal the fikamen and hold it ransom. Children who participate should be rewarded and praised at this point. And I can attach a video that kind of shows them doing that. Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe. This is the grace after the meal. Sorry, I should have prefaced that. Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who sustains the entire world with goodness, grace, loving kindness, and compassion. He gives bread to all, for his grace is everlasting. And his grace and his great goodness we have never lacked anything, and we will never be deprived of food for the sake of his great name. For he is God who provides for all and does good for all and prepares food for all. His creatures that he created. Blessed are you, Lord, who provides for all. God and God of our ancestors, may you remember on this day of Passover to bless us with kindness and mercy for life of peace and happiness. We pray that he who establishes peace in heaven grant peace for us, all Israel, and all of mankind, and let us say amen. And then they bless the third cup of wine. Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who creates the fruit of wine. And then you drink the third cup of wine, welcoming Elijah. The fourth and final cup of wine is now filled. An additional cup is then filled and set aside for the prophet Elijah. Tradition says that Elijah, who will precede the arrival of the Messiah, makes an appearance at every Seder. We traditionally open a door to the home to allow Elijah to enter and sing the song Eloheinu Hanavi. Elijah the prophet, Elijah the Tishbite, Elijah the Gileadite, may he come speedily to us in our days along with the Messiah, the son of David. Eluha Hanavi, Eluha Hasbi, Eluna Hakiladi, Yavo, Eluni Im Mashak Ben David. And then sections of Psalms are recited. And then you bless the fourth cup of wine. Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who creates the fruit of wine. And then the fourth cup of wine is drunk. And then you close with the official part of the Seder, asking prayer or praying and asking God to bring the Messianic era when all of us will be gathered to Jerusalem as all humankind dwells in peace. We have finished the Passover Seder according to its precepts and customs. And then after this, usually everyone says, next year in Jerusalem. Next year may we all dwell in peace. Or Lishana Haba B'Yerushalayim. Cool. And then they have a couple songs that you can sing. But overall, it's a great time for family to meet. And if you're ever invited to a Passover, don't be afraid to go. It's customary for anyone to really come to a Passover dinner. It's not just for Jews. So you can participate when the time comes and if you're asked. Thank you so much.